Greetings in the eternal fragrance from the heart of God. Ladies and gentlemen, heart friends of freedom, I am here this night by the grace of your own mighty I Am presence. Have you stopped for a moment to consider this? Have you stopped for a moment to consider that my words are conveyed to you by the grace of your own mighty I Am presence? That it is the power of seeing, the power of hearing, and the power of the senses that enable you to contact both the outer world of form and dimension and our world of light. For the spoken word conveys to you the message of our radiance, but it is perceived by the inward grace of the all-knowing mind of God within you. Be grateful then, beloved ones, and have faith in the transcendent light, which is the light of God that never fails, manifesting within you, conveying understanding to your hearts, and bestowing upon you every blessing from our octave. Ponder not the curious aspects of life, but ponder the greatness of your own immortality. Beloved ones, mankind, in looking out upon the scenes that pass before them, and I know full well how they look out and consider that all the world is a stage, and that each man in his time plays many parts, and so they do. But let them recognize that it is needful that they do not become involved in merely being spectators in an arena, gazing upon the antics of one another, and failing withal to perceive the grandeur that is their own soul. Precious ones of the light, there are so many philosophies in the world, there are so many ideas, that the libraries of the world are enriched with countless words that seem almost limitless. And if mankind will pause to consider, in 1,000 years they could not read all the works of man that have been written. Let them then, above all, learn to recognize the spirit of truth, that they may withal perceive and have a pearl of great price, radiant within their thoughts and feelings, Beloved ones, to have a pearl of great price is to be enfolded within the eternal inheritance. Beloved ones, there are so many dreams that fill the minds of the children of men. These dreams begin almost at the age of 3. And precious ones, if you will stop to consider, you will recognize that many of mankind are actually engaged in thinking about something no more significant than a sugar plum fairy. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, God is most desirous of exalting mankind into a state of consciousness where they will have the fullness of the understanding of an ascended being resident within their higher mental body, to be tapped by them before their ascension, in order that they may hasten the day of that precious ascension in the light. If their consciousness, like a child, is merely gazing out upon the world to see what is taking place around them, they become embroiled in countless ideas and fleeting images which can never, in a million years, give them their freedom. Mankind, quite generally speaking, follow a pattern, and there is not too much variation in this delusion. Beloved ones, the God design of our octave is so variegated, so beautiful, so magnificent, that it is difficult for the mind of man, it is difficult even for an ascended being to understand that radiance. And yet it is a part of the immortal inheritance of every man, woman, and child. It is a part of cosmic destiny. It is the destiny of every man. But too few have recognized it. Too few have aimed. Too few have desired to achieve. Too few have thought it possible that they could. And so in our octave, a relatively few from your planet are ascended beings. Is it any wonder that we are banded together as a fraternity called the Brothers in White? Is it any wonder that the love of God that raised us into our ascension causes us to remain within the atmosphere of this planet and serve mankind countless hours of every day in order to assist our brethren here in obtaining their own freedom, their priceless redemption in the expanding consciousness of God? Mankind ought not to consider themselves puny, mortal, ignorant, or any other negative quality, of which there are by far too many examples manifesting. Mankind ought to hold a most noble image of themselves, their children, and the world in general, and so the general welfare of the planet would be served, and more ascended beings would manifest, because mankind would be considering how they might assist their brothers and sisters in obtaining their ascension. Beloved ones, some of you have heard that I attended my own funeral as Francis Bacon. Well, beloved ones, I would like to tell you that the mankind of earth today seem more interested in attending one another's funerals than they do in attending their ascension. And this is not our desire. Our desire is to see the perfume and the essences of the sacred fire penetrate the four lower bodies of man, cut man loose from the densities of human creation, and exalt mankind into a state of Christ consciousness which overcomes the world. Well then, if mankind are to obtain this? Is it not well that they are faithful to band themselves together with those other elect, they who have elected to manifest a charge of ascended master radiance in preference to the mere foibles of the world? Beloved ones, the culture of the world is not understood by the cultured. Therefore, that which many of them have obtained is not a true culture at all. It is only a form of consciousness devoid of the divine understanding and placing man in categories of differences, different rates of vibration, different grades of understanding. God, as a magnificent ocean of light, beckons mankind to come, that they may be flooded with the ocean of His infinite light. This, as some of the Indian sages have said, ought to dissolve the salt doll that floats in the ocean. But, beloved ones, mankind seem fearful of losing their identity. Well, certainly history records that they all, sooner or later, do either attend their own funerals, as I did, in one form or another. And I think that it is most important that they start to consider now how they may overcome those densities of human creation which bring about decay, disease, and death within their four lower bodies, and prevent them from manifesting the pure Christ. I am speaking tonight in the holy name of freedom to inspire by the love of God those true and whole hearts among you who have long yearned to know the secrets of life, the secrets of immortality, who have long desired to cut yourselves free or be cut free from all that binds. Those of you who have seriously contemplated and meditated upon life, have lain upon your beds and pondered at night as to the mysteries of life. You have wondered from childhood how you might obtain a higher way. You have continued as seekers after light to pursue many devious paths in trying to express the great Christ consciousness of life. Having fallen short of the mark, you have continued to pursue the light that never shone upon land or sea, but that beckons within your hearts, and within your beings, and guides you on. You have not forsaken the search. You have continued, and I tell you, the hand of God shall not let you go. The ascended Master shall not forsake you. Beloved ones, if we do not forsake the world, who have utterly forsaken God, how can we forsake those who are our closest brethren, those who are candidates for the ascension, those who are aspirants upon the spiritual path, those who desire to see the victory of God triumph upon earth, those who recognize that the essential elements of truth within religion must come alive within the hearts of men and manifest everywhere before the planet can be free. These true souls, these true aspirants to be brothers in white, to be the elect, to be friends of freedom, must rise as one unified body and express the beauty of God. Everywhere they must cease dissension, cease disunity, cease disharmony. They must cherish and love those who love the eternal presence of God, whether known by the name of God or known by the name of Allah or known by any other name, and yet they must recognize that the name of God is locked within the precious words that convey to man a sense of his own consciousness and his existence and his bliss and his peace. The words, I am. I am is the name of God. I am is the wisdom of God. I am is the power of God. I am is the shining one manifesting in you as strength. The I am, the being of God within you, is that which gives to the reeds of your body the strength to stand upright, which gives fiber to your souls and life to the spiritual man that is within you, and feeds that spiritual man with the manna which came down from above, the bread of heaven, the life currents that flow into your spiritual body. Beloved ones, the parables of the Christ are so often confused by men and scarce understood, although uttered day after day from the pulpits of the world. I point out to you now, beloved ones, that the weaving of the garment of light, which enables mankind to have a God-conscious estate, is a service which, although performed by angelic hands, is accomplished because mankind have desired to have a release of the divine energy into the chalice of their being, to see loomed upon their frame the eternal radiance, to see the garments of white light which surround every ascended being, worn by themselves because of the breath of immortality which is within them. They have recognized that the true science of divinity is more transcendent than the partial science of man, which is but a release of the eternal science of God. Mankind have apprehended it in part, but only in part. They have perceived through a glass darkly, but they have not beheld yet face to face. So, beloved ones, the parable, even the parable of Christ, pertaining to the wedding garment, must be understood by mankind. They ought to understand that their precious days and nights in a physical form are given to them that they might tirelessly weave this garment until, if they were to suddenly find themselves cut loose and free from a body temple, they would retain in the precious divine essence the consciousness of God, the garment of light, charged with the eternal radiance. This may seem somewhat as a mystery to some of you, but if you will meditate upon it, if you will cherish my words and carry them about with you in your heart, I think that there is no one in this audience that sooner or later, and I am not speaking about many years, will come to understand a great degree of that of which I speak. And you will recognize that time is given to you in order that you might place your attention upon the light, because within the light your freedom is, and it is no place else. Beloved ones, it is time, high time, and past time that the mankind of earth understand the need to place their attention upon their great God source, the source of their divinity. Too long has their consciousness been dispersed. It is not uncomfortable, beloved ones, to place your attention upon your source. I think if you would analyze the vibratory action of your bodies, you would soon find that it is far more uncomfortable to vibrate within the human octave And those of us who descend to address you as I am doing this evening well understand, for we come into an atmosphere of sincere chelas, and yet we find certain densities operative there, which make it somewhat uncomfortable at times for us to speak to you with that ease and freedom in our feelings which we would. This in no way means that we are limited. It means that this molasses-like quality of human thought is difficult to be dispersed. Hence, beloved ones, you ought to cherish the higher vibratory actions as we do, and I am certain that many of you in your hearts have long cherished the higher vibratory action of our spheres of light. Pause now to consider. Pause now to think upon your own freedom. Mankind have been busying themselves about many things. They have busied themselves about one another to ponder as to whether this one or that one would make their ascension. They have speculated, beloved ones, as to whether another soul would make their ascension. How many have thought long and diligently upon their own freedom when that great demonstration was made by the Christ as he stood upon Bethany's hill, when his physical form became so charged with light and the radiance of God that that form could no longer be held by the magnetism of earth, and it rose into the atmosphere. The words of the angels were, "This same Jesus, whom you saw go into heaven, shall so come in like manner as ye have seen him go." And I tell you, beloved ones, that those of us who are ascended beings do come in like manner, and manifest in many a home and fireside. We have appeared to some in dreams, some in visions, and some tangibly. But, beloved ones, the important thing to remember is that our essence is omnipresent, and you have but to invoke us, to speak our name, to utter it within the secret recesses of your mind, and we are here. I am here and I am there is true of every ascended being. It can be true of you, beloved ones, for if you will but drink into this immortal consciousness, this cup of liquid light, representative of that eternal consciousness, you will find a spiritual expansion taking place within your worlds, which is freedom. Beloved ones, I ask you to think now, what is freedom? What is freedom? I think freedom is not human bondage. I think freedom is God. And freedom is good. And freedom enfolds every heart. Precious ones, as I step down the radiance of my manifestation for a moment, I desire you to recognize that I did not come here alone. The beloved angel which spoke those words, "This same Jesus whom ye saw ascend is with me now." It is his desire on behalf of the cosmic Christ to pour out his radiation into the force field, builded by the energies of the songs and decrees of these precious students who are here. I ask you, therefore, to maintain a period of silence for about 1 minute, that you may absorb the energies and radiance of this angel of the presence. I turn now to the political situation of the world with a desire to express great gratitude to the students everywhere for their magnificent decrees which they have offered up on behalf of the Cuban and Indian situations. Beloved ones, you do not know, and I do not believe that until you have made your ascension, you will fully be able to perceive the magnificent use to which we put the energies of the students, which were offered on behalf of the mankind of earth to protect them from the frightful consequences of a political situation seething with such unrest as never before manifested upon this planet. Beloved ones, warfare, and I know much about it, is not of necessity always self-evident. Like an iceberg, a portion of it is visible to the consciousness of mankind, but a much greater part of the hideousness of warfare is beneath the surface of human consciousness, seething with hate and torments. Well, beloved ones, the situation and peril which recently faced the people of the Americas and the world was unparalleled in the history of mankind. And I speak relative to that portion of the peril which was not visible to mankind. The fact that the tide was turned is a boon to mankind. But we would like to warn every one of the children of the light to continue to be diligent, to make their application. Beloved ones, this statement may seem commonplace, but it is so necessary. You do not fail to partake of mortal food, many of you eating 3 times a day and some more. Well, I do not think then that it is anything wrong that we should make this request, that you, beloved ones, should continue to diligently make your application for both yourselves and for the mankind of earth. Constancy of application produces results that are unparalleled in divine expression. You see, beloved ones, you are seeking to express the divine, and therefore when you seek to express the infinite, you must invoke infinite energies. You cannot invoke impure human energies and then expect to win your freedom. You must invoke from the heart of God the purity that comes from out the great central sun. The great central sun is a magnet. It is a magnet that lifts and exalts the consciousness and draws the consciousness of mankind to itself as a lodestone of power. The thoughts and feelings of the world are a magnet as well, and they detract from the eternal radiance and pull mankind down into a seething maelstrom. Differentiation, discrimination must be practiced by the students who would win their freedom, and they must reject the one and select the other. This is a process which we ourselves carried out for centuries before we won our ascension. How many times, beloved ones, do you suppose the tempters came to us and expressed to us, go this way, and we said, no, we will not go. And then the angel of the presence, our higher self, said, come this way, and we said, we will go. This is the way we desire. Well, beloved ones, I know in the case of my own life stream that I made over 2 million decisions of that kind before I won my ascension. Now this may seem like a great deal of decisions, a large quantity. It may seem almost as an infinite number to some of you. But I would like to call to your attention that this covered many, many embodiments. And so, beloved ones, watch the quality of your decisions. Watch the quality this year of each decision. For I tell you, beloved ones, the decisions you make yourselves determine the peace you shall have this year. And the decisions mankind shall make determine whether the world itself shall know peace. Be comforted then that the right decisions can come to you by the discriminating Christ intelligence of your own immortal being. Be at peace, beloved ones. You do not always need to consult with others to make your decisions. You can make your decisions directly by attuning with the heart of God. And yet, as we have constantly warned, mankind are perfectly justified in seeking knowledge from the outer, providing they are willing to go to the inner and make their attunement there and recognize that the balance, the perfection of discrimination is located within the heart of their own mighty I Am presence. In the name of heaven, beloved ones, the outer wisdom of the world is not a condition completely separate from God. From whence came this knowledge, which mankind cherished so highly? Was it not evolved through the centuries by a process of learning? Is it not like sand and sugar, mixed, some of it exceedingly wise and some exceedingly foolish? You must then seize that which is wise and forsake that which is foolish. This discrimination will produce for you an improved state of consciousness, and an improved state of consciousness will provide a conductor or avenue over which our energies may flow into your own world. Some of you may ponder the method by which I am speaking through this beloved messenger. Well, beloved ones, I would not place your attention too much upon that. Place your attention upon the light that is pouring down through the top of your own head and into your heart to beat your own heart. This is the source of your freedom. Your freedom does not come, beloved ones, through any other outer power. It comes through your own mighty, beloved I Am presence. When you come to these meetings in unity and love, to receive our radiance and blessing, this is an assistance. I would compare it to a mill wheel coming down through the atmosphere into the mainstream, and the water gently slaps the wheel and propels it onward. Well, beloved ones, you have to continually expose yourself to the stream of divine consciousness. But you must remember that you as an individual must journey back to the heart of your own source. You must do it for yourselves, for another cannot do it for you. This is one of the greatest mistakes which the students often make, and that is the mistake of desiring to find someone to conduct them directly to the heart of God. This is well and good, beloved ones, insofar as the so-called guru and disciple relationship is concerned. This is well and good as far as ascended beings are concerned. We are willing to render our assistance, as I explained to you. We are willing to give you a pat on the back, a friendly helping hand. But, beloved ones, the only way that you can obtain the freedom which we enjoy is to master your own thoughts and feelings, obtain your own freedom, and achieve your own understanding of the law. Freedom must bloom within each one's heart. Aaron's rod must blossom, it is true, but it must blossom upon the spinal altar of each individual. Each individual must unfold their latent spiritual powers. Each individual must open for themselves the door that leads to immortal octaves. Each individual must cherish the spiritual life enough to let go of those lesser experiences which do not give them their freedom, and keep on keeping on until they attain those satisfactions which are of the light. And then I think they will be a part of our band of assistants, cutting the world free by the power of a divine radiance and love that knows no limitation, that desires to express the beauty of God everywhere upon the planet. I remember, beloved ones, specifically in my journey across the sands with beloved Mother Mary, I remember many of the thoughts that passed through my own consciousness during that lonely vigil. We did not know whether we would be captured, although we believed the Word of God. Our hearts were still tormented at times by the human vibratory actions of the world at large, but we continued to reject every human idea. We continued to build our faith and to hold to that faith. Beloved ones, there are so many individuals who have the idea that an ascended being prior to their ascension did not struggle, did not ever know doubt. Well, beloved ones, simply because you today may have expressed some quality less than the perfection of God does not mean that you cannot hope for your ascension. I tell you this anecdote primarily because it is my desire to make known unto you that the mere dwelling momentarily upon human thought and human creation does not for all time brand you or stain your immortal soul. It is but a transitory and passing thing unless you make it a permanent thing by permitting negativism and feelings of negativism to be anchored within your world. And then you draw the great riptides of human emotion and feeling into your world, and your faith becomes doubt, and your doubt sometimes may become terror. Well, reverse the process, beloved ones, and when you see this expression, beginning to unfold within you, which is less than the light, stop it. Stop the action immediately and say you have no power. Your day is done. Cast out these unwanted conditions as we did. Any misgivings which we had were quickly dispelled, and we built in full faith and proceeded to our destination of safety in the land of Egypt. And the words were fulfilled, out of Egypt have I called my son. You see, beloved ones, the Scriptures cannot be broken. It is hypocrisy for mankind to assume that they can be broken. How many individuals, beloved ones, do you think have wrested the Scriptures to their own destruction? They do not know the meaning of freedom. They have taken one sloka, one statement, beloved ones, from the Scriptures of the world. And this one statement they have used as an excuse as to why they ought not to pursue the spiritual path. They have taken one human being or one religious faith and stated that they themselves would not follow the light because of this one individual or because of this one specific faith. This bad example influenced their actions, or so they said. Well, beloved ones, an honest heart is needed, and an honest heart will bring men to the feet of their own great divine identity. When they come to the feet of their own great divine identity, like St. Francis of old, and many of you know of whom I speak, he was Kuthumi, or he is Kuthumi, beloved ones, who was St. Francis. I desire to make this known unto those of you who were not aware of this fact, because that great soul extended himself as St. Francis from an ordinary human being surrounded by fears and doubts to become one who expressed the wonders of God, the love of God, and the power of God in action. His words, Lord, make me an instrument of thy peace, flowed out tonight as he addressed you from Kashmir. As he parted the veil, that precious life stream, now an ascended being, brought to you a touch of the golden essence of the divine radiance. I am here tonight. I am here to bring you your freedom. But a greater than I is here, one whose shoe steps I could not walk in before my ascension. I bring you now a few words from the beloved one, the Lord Maitreya, the cosmic Christ. Beloved Saint Germain, beloved friends of the heart of God, the great outpouring cosmic light of your divine identity enfolds you now in the radiance of the Eternal One. This light is raising you in a vibratory action which leads you upward in consciousness to the consciousness of the great central sun. The great central sun can be thought of as a shepherd, as the great shepherd of the sheep. And all human beings who hear the voice of the great heart of God speaking from out the great central sun, beloved Alpha and Omega, will know that peace of God which we as ascended beings share at a common table whereby we partake of the bread which came down from heaven, the bread which as mighty light rays poured out from the sacred altars of God and brought forth the sun in splendor, shining both as a physical sun in the universe and in the universe behind the universe, and as a spiritual sun within the very heart of the being of God. The rays of light from the great central sun pouring forth to the sun of this system of worlds kindled the radiance of the solar logos, and the radiance of the solar logos sent forth its mighty light rays to this earth and kindled the radiance of beloved Virgo, the Mother Earth principle, activating the light rays within that great being. And the solar radiance then of the great central sun descended also from the great central sun to the sun of the systems of worlds, to beloved Helios and Vesta, and activated your own life streams, so that you are truly, in essence, a sunbeam, a ray of light from out the great central sun. I would like the students tonight to cherish this idea. So long as you think of yourselves, beloved ones, as clay, as density, as a conglomeration of human effluvia, you are not enjoying the supreme radiance of light. Well, think of your bodies tonight, beloved ones, as light. Think of yourselves as light, as a sunbeam from out the great central sun. I, Maitreya, will initiate tonight many of you into the solar radiance in the solar chambers, if you will only devote your heart's attention tonight as you pass into sleep to your own mighty I Am presence and request it of me. I will try to exalt all of you that the great law will permit into a greater unfolding of your spiritual sonship. I will bestow upon all who are worthy a greater degree of initiation than they have ever known before. This condition will be brought about solely to assist the mankind of earth in obtaining their ascension. For, beloved ones, wherever there is a candidate for the ascension upon this planet, the radiance around that individual is a blessing to all the consciousness of life embodied here. It was this power, this radiance, this glory, which manifested in beloved Jesus, which magnetized the audiences upon the hillsides of Judea, which flooded forth and quickened the consciousness of men, which produced healings of consciousness, and which gave joy to the hillsides of the world, because the Christ walked upon them. I bless you and I thank you by the power of the light from out the great central sun, and I return you now to that beloved God of freedom, your friend Saint Germain. Precious ones of the unfolding radiance, our beloved Maitreya, revered in our octave, has spoken to you his words of encouragement, his words based upon the immortality of your own souls. Remember the flame of love from his heart kindled the spark of love within yours. It is the desire of all the hosts of heaven to fan the flame of divinity upon the heart's altar of each individual expression of God. This we do in the holy name of freedom, to cherish the world, to encircle the world, to love the world with the peace of God. This is the purpose of this class, to unfold the radiance of the individual, to give freedom to the individual, to unfold the planetary radiance, to give freedom to the planet, to bless mankind with their own individualized, self-realized confidence in the light of God which never fails, that they recognize the higher way of thought, that they no longer express the limiting doubts and confining ideas of the agnostic, or those who are in despair or despondency, who seek in some oppressed system or ideology, some political thought, a dream of freedom which is empty. Rather, I say to all, let them see within the heart of their own I am presence the open door, the open door, the open door that leads to their own freedom in the light of God, which never fails. I thank you and bless you and bid you good evening. From the heart of God, peace must flow. Surely in the heart of God, peace must dwell. Surely in the heart of God, all distress must cease to be. And so, beloved ones, we part the veil of Kashmir, and we bid you welcome in the holy name of God to our band of light, ever present upon earth, to bring release to mankind from those feelings of distress which have for too long plagued the mankind of earth and have not brought them the comfort and blessings God intends. I am come now to bring you the peace and the greetings of the Great White Brotherhood, that august fraternity and band of those who are captivated by a vision of the Divine One and are unable to perceive human discord. Those who have ascended in to the magnificence of the Divine One, those whose unity with God I affirm this night, and I say unto you all, peace be unto thee from the heart of God, from the heart of God within the great central sun. The victory of this planet must be brought forth. Freedom from the heart of God must manifest now. Too long has the world suffered the agonies of crucifixion upon a cross of discordant energies. We must now part the veil of illusion, and we must assist the mankind of earth as never before. But I say to you, beloved ones, you must place your hand within the hand of God. You must place your hand there willingly. You must permit it to nestle there with the comfort of a trusting child. And you must not let go, because you cannot see the far upper reaches of the arm of God extending through the mists of Maya and illusion. I say to you, beloved ones, the all-enfolding loveliness of God is around you. Its tangible light rays manifest within the purity of your being. You today are all the fullness of God, yet the outer self perceives it not, realizes it not, and continues to dwell in a state of limitation imposed by the acceptance of the burdens of the race. The Great White Brotherhood desires only the freedom of mankind. And therefore, as I come to you this night to bid you welcome to our band, as I bring you my welcome, I ask the great all-enfolding light of God to descend upon your hearts with a gentle mantle of peace, to remove from your hearts those burdens of the years and centuries, those conditions which are as chains, those conditions which are weights, those conditions which are oppression. I say, be free. Be free to accept the blessings of this class. Be free to accept the blessings of your own divine presence. Be free to permit the spiritual energies of heaven to blaze through your life stream out into the world of form, so that you too may assist in being conductors of the magnificence of God into the realm of human form and dimension. Peace be unto you, peace from the heart of God. May the all-enfolding radiance of the great central sun seal you all now in that perfection and oneness which is the heart of God, the light that does not fail. Mankind in all their accumulation of wisdom through the centuries, in all their approaches to God, cannot in any way excel the approach of the gentle heart, opening as a flower to drink in the sunlight of God's love as it pours across the Elysian fields and brings peace to every troubled heart. Beloved ones, there is no need for complication. There is no need for extensive exercises if one will but drink in the all-enfolding radiance of their own mighty I Am presence. And yet, there are many wonderful systems in existence today to assist mankind in finding the fullness of spiritual expression, and it is not our intention to speak disparagingly of them. However, I merely desire to call the attention of the student body to the fact that there is a great benefit in the simplicity of the open heart's door. The heart that is open to God, and thus open to each quality which He Himself is, and which He would express through every man, every woman, and every child as the fullness of the divine wisdom ray. Is it not the part of great wisdom, the spiritual wisdom of God, for man to accept the fiat of their own divine accomplishment, their Christed being, the radiance of their own divine self? Is it wisdom, beloved ones, to accept the limitations of the world, the shroud of the world, the depths of despair of the world? Must men sit in agonies of oppression? Must men's hearts be heavy, as if they would face 1,000 Gethsemanes daily? This is not the plan of God. It has not been the plan of God. It has never been God's design. Mankind have accepted the hard and thorny road, and yet the hard and thorny road is long and devious. The simplest way was the manifestation of the pure Christ consciousness, descending with all of its wisdom and all of its perfect attunement with the mind of God. This beauteous radiance was accomplished in holy men of old, such as Enoch, Melchizedek, and others of our sacred band. These holy men accepted the divine radiance and manifested. It is as simple as the sun shining in its strength, and yet human ideas have desired to cast around it a great deal of complication. And in this vast complication of religious system, many men become confused, and they seem to lose their way as faltering children. They wander from the beautiful radiance of their own presence. They totter as on the brink of an abyss of not knowing. And yet, the comfort of the Holy Spirit, the perfection that beats their heart, sustains the universe in all of its glory. The wisdom that is and is unknown continues to function because it knows. You see, beloved ones, the mind that knows is the mind of God, and the perfect mind of God always maintains perfection in the body temple, in the mind, in the spirit of man. There is perfect equilibrium, perfect divine balance. The keynote of this class, beloved ones, is to be peace upon earth. For the Great White Brotherhood recognizes this year the need to solidify all that has been gained for mankind through the centuries of both a spiritual and political nature. And so, beloved ones, the entire hosts of heaven those who cherish the wisdom of God, those who love the radiance of God, those men of strength and women of divine and immortal character are assembled here with me this eve. They are assembled here to bid you welcome. The welcome comes not from my own life stream alone, but it blazes out in living letters of eternal immortal fire. Welcome to your hearts, welcome to your heads, to the wisdom therein, and welcome to your precious four lower bodies. May they be comfortable in the radiance of the Divine One, in the home of light to which they are destined to attain. May they find comfort here in the peace of God, which delivers to mankind his own understanding of deliverance. The way ye know, for I am the way, the truth, and the life. No man cometh to the Father, the mighty I Am Presence, but by me, by the Holy Christ self of every man. Peace then unto you in this welcome, and let your heart smile, for the smile that comes to your heart is the smile of your presence, the kiss of its radiance, and the fellowship of those ascended brethren in light that are ever at the door. I thank you. Won't you please be seated? We are most grateful to our beloved Kuthumi.
Most gracious and beloved Saint Germain, my holy consort and friend of freedom's flame, I, Portia, salute thee, and I salute all members of the august fraternity of the Karmic Board, in wonder to behold the greatness of the God design and plan for the planet Earth, lowered into the atmosphere as a cosmic opportunity to which the earth must give birth by that travail necessary to the unfoldment of the plan, but hopefully with ease and with simplicity and grace. Precious and beloved ones, so beautiful is the unfoldment of the eternal God design of life. So wonderful are those octaves of light in which we dwell, that we wait and we abide, hopefully that each one of you will fix your attention upon those octaves now and glimpse that which shall be, which already is. I desire in the name of cosmic justice to fix this idea within your waiting hearts, for it is living hope in externalization. Beloved ones, that for which you long is, and is already in manifestation at inner levels. Even here, upon your blessed planet, many wonders have been externalized, and many blessings have been given, which you share with one another and with us. For when your hearts are glad, it gladdens the hearts of heaven. There is not a child upon this earth, nor an adult, nor a living soul who expresses the quality of gladness that it does not cause us to rejoice, and the angels to rejoice. This is a mighty quality of heaven. It is an expression from the heart of God, which we have externalized with gratitude to God. It is one of his own specific qualities. It is a manifestation of his very nature. It is his living heart. Beloved ones, he desires with the full intensity of his mighty beingness to extend of himself into space, to hallow space with his own radiance. Never in the heart of God at any time did any lesser quality manifest. You have heard it said, "Vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith the Lord." Beloved ones, this passage and phrase is so little understood upon earth, for mankind have so frequently painted a vengeful God waiting to express retributive action to mankind. Beloved ones, I stand here this morning to tell you that this is not the desire and plan for God. This religious statement has been misunderstood and misinterpreted countless times. True, beloved ones, it is that the words were spoken, but the meaning is clear, that it is not the prerogative or right of man to express a quality of vengeance which God himself would not express. It is not the prerogative of anyone, and even those of us of the Karmic Board have no desire to express the quality of vengeance, nor to wreak havoc upon mankind, upon the planet, or even upon a so-called vicious life stream. How could a life stream be vicious, beloved ones, seeing that a life stream is composed of two beautiful words, the word life and the word stream? A life stream is the glory of God pouring forth like a cosmic river, and it descends through that beautiful silver cord upon the gentle head of every newborn infant child. And it manifests throughout the lifespan of all individuals. How then could a life stream be vicious? I tell you, beloved ones, it is in the human octave and misqualified state of consciousness that mankind express human viciousness. And let us confine it there, and transmute it there, and keep it there, and lock it there, until it no longer has any power even in the world of man. Let us seize the opportunity of the moment, beloved ones of earth, and unite your energies with those that descended from above, with the gentle energies of heaven that descend as the precious drops of dew upon the earth. Let the beautiful quality of mercy be hallowed among men. It is the quality of the Christ. It is that which descended from on high, that it might exalt that to which it descended. O beloved ones, the heart of God is not harsh. The laws of karma are exact indeed, and the mills of the gods do indeed grind very slowly at times and exceedingly small. But, precious ones, it is not a design intended to inflict hurt or injury to the hearts of men. It is a chastening given to those whom the Lord loveth. I am so anxious and desirous that the students will understand this, that they will understand that the Scriptures are made to exalt the souls of men into the qualities of God, and that they will not misinterpret the precious scriptural offerings. And yet we know that there are those who have wrested our words spoken in this day and age unto causes of destruction. There is never a destructive quality in God. It is impossible, beloved ones, because his very nature expresses such magnitude as is inconceivable to the human heart. Beloved ones, even those of us ascended recognize that we have never probed the depths of the infinite mercy and grace of God. How could this magnificent, loving, mighty I Am Presence desire aught but the perfection of life? And therefore life is now expressing all the beauty and perfection of the cosmic spheres. The eternal star of hope, the star of Bethlehem, beloved ones, must then arise in your heart, and you must behold its radiance, a hallowed light upon your path, dispersing and dispelling the shadows that loom ahead, pointing out the thorns and briars upon the human path, that you may step aside and avoid them. It is not the desire of God that any of his little ones should suffer either pain or anguish or despair. It is the desire of God that life be recognized as a cosmic opportunity. In the name of heaven, precious ones of the light, if this moment you were all exalted into your ascension and stood beside me, do you not think that seeing far ahead into infinite realms of time and space and eternity, you would behold a path of ever-ascending light? Of course you would, beloved ones. You would behold the path infinite, looming before you with ever-increasing crescendos of hope. Why not, precious ones, then, accept that hope today? Why not accept it at this moment? It is, you know, and it is the tangible reality of heaven. Shut out, then, human discord. Shut out the habits of the years that are unwanted. Shut out your human fears and establish within your hearts the Christ consciousness that recognizes opportunity as a moment born anew. Precious ones of the light, the karmic board has been pointed out to be a very severe and august body. Well, I would like to tell you, for I hold in my hands the scales of cosmic justice, that this body has brought to this planet Earth untold blessings, and they are not in disguise. They are tangible and real and precious, and mankind ought to fall upon their knees in gratitude for those blessings. And yet we do not ask that you adore us, for we are co-servants with you in serving the great cosmic cause, but we advocate that you adore your own God-self, the mighty I Am presence of life that is within you, and acknowledge that it is the balance for your life stream of all justice above and below, that the great and mighty power of that mighty I Am presence can be known by you, can be loved by you, can be cherished by you as a greater understanding than you have ever had before. Oh, precious ones, countless are the people in this country who, if they knew that I were here speaking to you this morning, would be here. Do you think the walls of this room, do you think the ground, the land of the city could contain the people that would make a pilgrimage here if they knew that I were in truth speaking to you this morning? Well, beloved ones, they do not know, and therefore they are not here in physical consciousness. Precious ones of this light, this unfailing light of God, I tell you, it is almost a shame how mankind take it so for granted when an ascended being speaks to mankind. If we were, beloved ones, human in nature, we would frequently turn our backs and go away and not speak for 1,000 years until men learn to appreciate our words. But we are not human anymore in our character. We express the true justice and balance of the Christ. And we say to all, even to those precious students who do not always apprehend all that we say, we do forgive, for many know not yet what they do. Beloved ones, I say this to you not in a spirit of despair, but in a spirit of hope, that it will spur you on to take stock of yourselves, to probe the wonderings and meanderings of your mind, to recognize that it is necessary for you to have a pole star of consciousness, and that the balance of that consciousness is never within any individual, but is within the heart of your own God presence. When you take stock of yourself and you recognize that the balance of your life is within the heart of your mighty I Am presence, it will produce a change in your thinking, in your immediate attitude, and in your entire demeanor. And you will find yourselves no longer thinking in terms of wandering and wondering, but you will know the balance of your life is in God. You will recognize that here where you are is the place of the beginning where you may unfold in perfect dignity the life plan which God gives to all. Precious ones of the light, it is needful for men and women to establish a contact with God which cannot be easily broken. Human beings in their ruminating within the halls of memory far too frequently stir up the dust of old memories of human discord. If they would rather stir up within their beings a memory of those days of old when the great cosmic light shone in fullness of glory within their worlds, when they descended with hope to the earth as a living soul without spot or blemish, they would recognize then that it is a cosmic responsibility for every man and every woman to follow the path victorious, the path of balance, the path of perfection, the way of the Christ, the way of the ones of light, the path of the initiates, the path of discipleship, the path of adeptship, the path that leads to the heart of God, not as to a nebulous nothingness, but to the greatness of spheres of such grandeur and hope as stir the hearts of the universe. Beloved ones, if those of us who have passed through the halls of the centuries and have won our ascension in the light are stirred hourly and momentarily and thrilled anew with the wonder of God, what then think ye ought to be your lot today? When I tell you in living words of light, because he lives in you, you live in him. And in this consciousness, you shall expand your hope until the fan of the world, the thought of the world, the ideas of the world shall be changed. And the great power of God shall alter all that has been unjust, impure, unwanted, uncherished, and unloved, may become lovable, just, pure, kind, Christ-like, God-like, and blessed. All this, my beloved, Saint Germain is. All this, America is. All this, you are. In the inner levels of divine reality. The hour is now. Behold, the peace of Christ descends upon you from the great karmic board. Thank you, and good morning.
All I
light, I am come this morning to tell you of a few wonderful things about yourselves, about the universe, and about your own God self, the most important and the most vital part of your being. Without it, life would cease to be. You have heard it said in the past, and it is recorded, that many of the old and familiar sayings are rooted in antiquity. You have heard it said, it is really amazing. Well, let me tell you, beloved ones, this saying comes from my name, Amazon. For truly, the works of God are amazing, and as the complement of beloved Hercules, I can say to you today that the I Am is amazing. It is truly wonderful to behold the works of God everywhere. As I speak to you this morning, I am particularly imbued with the thoughts about the ancient civilizations of South America. I am thinking this morning of the magnificent attempts made by the divine ones at inner levels to bring perfection to this planet. Many of you ladies at present, wearing physical forms of far less stature than my own, are not able perhaps in ordinary thought to conceive of yourselves in giant form. And yet, if you will look at the statue of the beloved Goddess of Liberty, you may develop a concept of a giant race. During the time when I manifested physically upon this planet, there were a race of magnificent women dwelling in South America that bore my name, Amazon. This is known to some of you, for the geography of South America has given to the river Amazon my name. Well, beloved ones, returning now to the thought of South America, I wish to weave in with that thought the greatness of motherhood. Not motherhood in the ordinary sense, but motherhood in the divine sense. For the time has come when upon this planet there must manifest an understanding once again of the culture of the mother race. It must be understood that this is not a conflict between sexes, between masculinity and femininity, but it is the upsurge of the mother principle to take dominion as the principle of culture and virtue and loveliness, which gives to a civilization an era of peace wherein the populace may once again master the arts of spinning and weaving from the substance of their dreams days of peace and nights of rest, as you give in your invocations. Beloved ones, the world has far too long mastered and sought to master the arts of war, and we who are known as Amazons, and I am Amazon, desire to bring once again to the attention of the ladies of this planet, on behalf of the ladies of heaven, the powerful influences of a mother's love and of the mother of the world's love for the civilization of this age, that shall cause those divine virtues which are not thought of as being specifically masculine in nature to manifest upon this earth, not only in the women of the world, but in the men of the world. You see, beloved ones, the very nature of God is composed of both masculine and feminine attributes, so that in a true sense the nature of God can be spoken of as being both masculine and feminine. Therefore, I would like to call to your attention that while the wonderful compliment that God has given to me, beloved Hercules, manifests the power aspect of God, that this power is always tempered by the feminine aspect, so that it is not a destructive force, but it is a power of light and love, wielded as blue lightning and manifesting the perfection of God always. Beloved ones, do you see then how that power is needed? Power is needed, but it must not be unbridled. And therefore, in my beloved complement, Hercules, there manifests that aspect of feminine control which produces a divine balance of life. In your beloved Saint Germain, the wonderful attributes of the goddess of justice, Portia, have caused him to express freedom with purpose and justice for all men. And so it is, beloved ones, that the masculine and the feminine are intended to be balancing forces. For far too long now, the annals of civilization record the masculine attributes within both the men and the women. Many years ago, when women's suffrage was given to the nation America, it caused a change in the thinking processes of the women of America, who for some time sought to imitate men in many ways in finding their questionable new freedom. Well, while we approve of the equality of both men and women, of a certainty, we certainly do not approve of that type of thinking, beloved ones, which desires to imitate a quality without understanding the law of balance in that quality, so that the perfection of God can manifest there, and not some bohemian type of expression which is not the beauty of the Godhead. The shining splendor of the Godhead is always truly cultural. It is truly lovely. It is wonderful to behold. I am grateful that the beloved child of light who spoke to you in directing you in your decrees has mentioned several matters pertaining to the culture of America, because it is truly desirable that all men understand that beloved Paul the Venetian is greatly desirous of expressing the culture of the great flame of love, not only in the heart of America, but in the heart of the world. And in giving the gift of his mighty flame to the heart of America from the heart of France, he gave it in order to express the faith of the ascended masters which still abides with the American people, that they will be the hope of the world, an ascended master nation, epitomizing and expressing for the family of nations that justice and liberty and equality are the fruit of godliness within the hearts of its people. The mother principle desires to see this nation strong. when the day comes that the implements of war can be safely put away. That is our desire. Until this can be done safely, I say, America, be on guard. Civilizations have decayed from within. They have also decayed from without. And by this, I mean that they have been destroyed from without. Therefore, it is necessary that the bulwarks of the internal security of the nation be strengthened, because the people themselves teach and train their youth in the correct manner in which they ought to live. This is a part of the duty and responsibility of every mother. But, beloved ones, the mothers of America must be willing to give their sons to the protection of its shores and to the protection of freedom when it is necessary to do so. How we long for the men of the world to put away the instruments of war and to inscribe their beings with the instruments of peace. But it is clearly to be understood that this must be brought about not by a unilateral action of one nation, but by an absolutely sincere action of all of the nations of the world. The Mercurian communication systems of the world today, the rapidity with which weapons and missiles can be launched, carrying and bearing destructivity from continent to continent, does not permit the world to sleep or to have a blind trust. It is the responsibility of men to guard from within the mighty sacred tenets of the faith which they bear in Almighty God. But it is their duty and responsibility from without to guard the security of their nation and the principles of cosmic freedom for which this nation under God has suffered in the past and been protected by Saint Germain through the ages. Beloved ones, I long, and others of the great ones long, to see on the plains, hills, and forests of South America a new culture arise under the direction of the mighty great divine director. We long to see an era of peace and plenty manifest there, to see the old temples raised anew, to see them blaze with the golden light of truth, which was brought to fruition thousands and thousands of years ago upon that blessed continent. But the power of light, the power of freedom, must be retained in the heart of America, that the germinal seeds of light may be transmitted safely there in one mighty Pan-American Union that shall unite the hearts of the South American people and span this nation America, extending itself over Canada even to the point farthest north in Alaska. Mighty plans of the ascended masters are far beyond the comprehension of most people who have but a limited glimpse of history. This history they have acquired through a few years of study in this particular embodiment and the gleanings perused from a few textbooks of limited concepts. We have observed the operation of mankind upon this planet spanning the centuries, and the great record room in the Royal Tetons contains the scribed writings of gold containing the history of those civilizations. We know firsthand whereof we speak, and we know that the need is great to unite the hearts of the three Americas so that the protection needed can be given to South America, I would like to point out to the beloved ones that are hearing this address that the agents of insincere foreign powers have ever so frequently sought to find a place of operation within those nations of the world where economic instabilities exist, where hunger for food and the living standard is lowered. There they send forth their nefarious agents to make every attempt to plant seeds of communism and atheism. These are so contradictory to the plans of the ascended masters that I am certain that every sincere Chela will immediately grasp the concept that it is necessary to guard South America against the infiltration of those hordes of shadow and darkness. Yet these also are children of the light within. It is necessary then that the students understand that when we speak and warn the individuals to be on guard, that it is more to be on guard against a creative error concept and a force operating within the framework of individual monads and society than it is a personal protection required against any specific individual. Individuals, beloved ones, are mere pawns upon the chessboard of world affairs. They are moved about by the human viciousness which has been spawned and created through the centuries. These destructive forces crept in to our marvelous civilizations that existed in the past in South America and thoroughly undermined the principles of freedom there until the wonderful Amazon ladies no longer were cultural expressions of the ascended master's light, but they became depraved individuals using their giant strength to wage destructive warfare even against the opposite sex and degenerating into mere tribes of an expression which I do not wish to dwell upon. Beloved ones, it is the desire of the ascended masters to protect mankind against those destructive elements which are truly not a part of the creation of God. They are a part, and solely a part, of the creation of man and of those rebellious spirits which long ago came to this planet and made this earth their temporary home. By contagion, they spread abroad the poisons of their thoughts and errors. And as the great cosmic law moves into balance, all that is unjust must one day be justified by the law, and therefore balance must be achieved. Cataclysms and fierce storms of destructivity have been rained upon mankind in the past. Civilizations and society has been toppled. Vast pyramids have been overturned. Mighty cataclysmic upheavals have caused continents to disappear beneath the waves. So awful is the scene recorded that we do not even desire to look upon it except as a point of historical episode, and to call to your attention the dangers inherent in wrong thinking and wrong living and misjudging and misdirecting your energies. I therefore call to the mothers of the world to awaken to the great need before them, to teach their children to understand the power of creative thinking. The arts, beloved ones, are given to mankind by reason of the seven spirits before the throne of God. And therefore, I would like to point out that the Elohim play a tremendous part in releasing into mankind's dominion the power of achieving an understanding of true culture, The ancient Greek civilization was developed originally a great deal through the assistance of beloved El Morya, and it was the desire of the ascended masters during that time to cause wonderful statues to be constructed and placed at strategic spots throughout the early cities, the cities of Athens, others. It was the desire of the ascended masters to have the women, who were all saint at that time, to behold these statues during the period of gestation, that they might externalize in their thoughts bodies beautiful, souls noble, and a consciousness charged with an exalted state. All of this came about and was the glory of Greece. But, beloved ones, the story has been oft repeated. The decline and fall of Rome, the decline and fall of the Grecian civilization, the decline and fall of Atlantis, the decline and fall of Lemuria, the decline and fall of far too many continents, beloved ones, and civilizations. And now, in the holy name of Saint Germain, I would like to tell you that it is the desire of my beloved Hercules and all of the brothers and sisters of heaven to see this great land of America remain great, to see the people come to a state where they will understand the greatness of that which they now hold as a vast potential doorway into infinite wonders for the entire planet and its environs. Man today holds the key within their receptive consciousnesses to understand that the open door must be kept open, that receptivity must be retained to the ascended master octaves. In the holy name of God, I ask you, beloved ones, if you were to cut your telephone wires, to destroy your radio antennas, and to destruct your means of communicating with one another, how could you hold together your present civilization? Supposing, beloved ones, that as at the Tower of Babel, your speech were confused today, and you were no longer able to understand one another. In this lack of communication, utter chaos would ensue. And truly, you would find how valuable indeed is the power of communication. Consider then for a moment what it means to contact our octave. And I would like to call to your attention one specific thought. How many individuals do you suppose, as tools of a sinister force, would desire to destroy this beloved messenger through whom I am speaking? Why, beloved ones? Because in the destruction of communication with our octave, the honest reports presently being given would no longer be yours. And it would set back the cause of freedom. I could cite other instances where this has happened. You see, beloved ones, the beloved great divine director filled a similar post to that which he is now filling long ago in South America. I want to call to the attention of the beloved ladies once again of the need to train the youth of the world in externalizing creative art. Consider what it means to be able to create beautiful forms. The aberrations of the recent artistic cults of the world is a frightening thing to behold, and truly reflects the bohemian attitudes of the artists in expressing the emotional level of degeneration rather than the cultural expressions of the soul. There are a few who have touched upon the great hem of the eternal garments of truth, To these we give our approval, but to others we express our regret. Beloved ones, it is so needful that the thought of beauty from out the great central sun be held in the consciousness of the mothers of the world. They must recognize the power of the creative spirit itself, the creative spirit himself, to express the light rays from his heart through their mind and consciousness, and to make of their consciousness a prism of light, that the light rays may pass through their consciousness and emblazon upon the screen of reality things that are eternally beautiful. This is a cultural expression of the Spirit, of the Holy Spirit. Down through the ages, countless great masters have served mankind by producing paintings and statuary of great beauty. You can safely look upon these objects, for they are inspirational, but they are but a passing shadow of that which shall be. For as of old, on the continent of South America, so in time to come shall a new Colossus, a new treasury of beauty be created, a museum that men may safely muse within. For that which they behold is a part of the kingdom of God. You see, beloved ones, much of the form of the world is still endowed with God's beauty. It needs merely the washing of purification. It needs the bathing of the spiritual radiance to transmute it once again into its central loveliness. Its core is light. Its exterior shall become light as mankind purify their consciousness. And therefore comes now the mother of the world. Comes now the mother of the world concept to the fore in mankind's consciousness. The so-called cult of the mother of the world must arise within mankind's consciousness, that the youth of the world be trained for spiritual avatarship, for spiritual experiments, for spiritual living. You see, beloved ones, in the temples of the Brotherhood at Karnak, in the temples of the Brotherhood at Gibraltar and other places, on Malta, we hold these sacred schools. But now they must move out into the world of form. Now they must move out with great radiant swirling energies, and they must enter into the mother's hearts. You have heard it said that the hand that rocked the cradle is the hand that ruled the world. Well, beloved ones, this is the hour of your shining motherhood, the hour when the mothers of the world must unite in one beautiful expression of guarding the divinity of their sons and daughters of light. I, Amazon, have spoken from out the great central sun with the eternal shining radiance of the one, Alpha and Omega. I tell you, my word shall live long after the sand of this planet has been dissolved into the great cosmic light itself, and after the entire solar system will have rolled up as a scroll to be more grand. The words that I have spoken shall live because they are woven of eternal substance. They are a part of the eternal plan of progress, whereby the ages become the kingdoms of God made manifest. In the name of the great central sun from whence I am come, in the name of the shining splendor and radiance of the Eternal One, I depart from you now, but I am with you forever. Look to the great central sun's radiance, and there behind that radiance you will find my face, smiling and beaming upon you with a grandeur of expression that shall polish the nobility that is within you. I thank you.